everyone. Hello, hello. Geneva is not quite here yet, so it's just me for right now. This was kind of unplanned, but I figured that I would hop on here. There's not really a specific topic or anything, so it's just kind of gonna be whatever. Oh, there's Geneva right there.
Sorry, I was
Hey.
listening to the rest of that testimony and I didn't realize
Oh,
what it was.
so crazy.
I
Did you
know.
finish with day two?
No, I finally finished with the mom's testimony. And then I saw one of the psychiatrists or psychologists his testimony.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Or maybe it
Hey,
was there was two
yeah, there was a
psychologists.
female and a
Yeah,
yeah.
and the male. And I watched both of those. I just don't remember which one is which day.
Well, both of them were there was two today, and then there was a mental health physician counselor that was at the
Right.
end.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Bliss Chris. Hey,
Yeah.
Shayla.
Hey guys.
So
So
just
yeah,
is
that's what I was doing.
Geneva hard to hear? Oh, wait, that might be me. Actually, I take that back. That's me probably. Hey, Jenny from the block. Hey, MW. We're talking
MW.
about the Ashley
Benefield,
yes, that case.
the Black Swan ballerina.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Hey,
her
Patty.
mom did her
Hey,
no good.
Gray. Hey, Star.
Yeah, you can ask a question. Go for it.
No promises on the response though.
Right. Yeah. No promises, depending on what it is. Hey, Star.
Actually well, can I
Yeah.
just say
Yeah.
okay, can
No,
I don't think she can answer that right now.
no, I cannot.
Sorry, Geneva. I just didn't want you to
Yeah. No, I was just going to say the same thing that I
yeah,
can't.
I don't want you to
I can't elaborate on that.
yeah. I'm not a fan of hers. I've been hearing that from a lot of people lately.
Yeah. I'm going to plead the fifth. Exactly.
Yeah.
Although I'm not really incriminating
Shauna.
myself, but
Well, I think you're better off right
yeah.
now not saying anything.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, the snail mucin is amazing.
Told you.
It's
Told you. We
amazing.
both told you.
Yeah, I know. Once I got over the thought of
Texture.
the texture and what I'm putting on my face, because it feels like what it
Mhm.
is, and I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know. But once I got past that, yeah,
Yeah, it makes your skin so soft. She was in
she's
the Cecil Hotel before she got Kate to Black Dahlia. Are you talking about the Black Swan?
yeah, we're talking about the Black Swan, not Black Dahlia.
Yeah, have you guys we started to discuss the case last week.
Right. I
Um
don't think we thought that the jury selection was going to be that quick.
no, it went by so fast.
It
Like they
did. It
were
was like
not
in one
supposed to.
day. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're fine, Gray. Um yeah,
It's confusing.
they
I know. It's confusing. Similar
they
names, different cases.
isn't it have you been listening to it, Star? We can always watch some of it. It is
Isn't it wild, Star?
her I was saying earlier that her defense lawyer, like the day one, he was a little bit um unhinged to me, but by today he was like full on male version of Eileen Brettelhoff to me.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp's
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Amber
Amber
Heard.
Heard's lawyer.
Yeah.
MW, she is a former ballerina, and she met this man who was a former lieutenant in the Navy. And they 9 months prior to their meeting, um, he had a wife that had passed away, and then they met, and 13 days later, they got married. Now, he's 30 years her junior, so he's 30 years older than she is.
The judge did go off on her lawyer. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's interesting about, and this brings up another aspect of the case too, that I think part of the reason why I feel so compelled to believe the daughter, to believe Eva, is because I was very much in a similar situation. Like, I lost my mom when I was 15. Like,
Mhm.
within a year, my dad was married to somebody who was, for all intents and purposes, the same age as my sister,
Mm.
who, I mean, so I guess they were like 20. My dad was about 20 years older than her. Um, and she hated the fact that he had a kid and a family. And
Yeah.
she was crazy. And my dad was the calmest person you would ever meet. I mean, I could probably count on one hand the number of times I would see him even yell or get mad. And so it was like when I was watching her testimony, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so the parallels to my own experience with my dad and my stepmother, and being in that dynamic was like, wow, you know, same thing. It's like, she was 15, she just lost her mom, and now here's this woman in the picture who her dad didn't even tell her about,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
think that Eva is 23 now, and
Yeah,
Ashley is 32.
right.
So, yeah. But yeah, we can watch we
Those
can
were some
watch some of
really
that.
long sidebars too, man.
Oh my god. They drove
Those
me
were some
absolutely crazy.
long sidebars today. But yeah, and then like the mom, I was watching the mom's testimony, uh, Ashley's mom, and she did no favor. Like, you could tell she was almost perjuring herself, because she would start to give an answer and then she would immediately backtrack on it. Like, she did that a couple of times, and it's like she would start to say, like with the U-Haul, oh no, there was no U-Haul. It was not in my driveway. But then they're like, well, as you were leaving, the U-Haul was pulling up, right? Well, yeah, right. Well,
Mhm.
first you were saying you didn't know anything about a U-Haul, basically, is what she was implying. And now all of a sudden, okay, as you were leaving, there's the U-Haul. I
Right.
mean, she just kept kind of doing that, and I think it really made her look bad.
And then there was something super creepy about her going to live with her psychologist.
That was weird. For
It
like
was
8 months, she said, right?
yeah, it was, I don't know, that just something's off about that.
That was weird. I forgot about that. That was a really weird. Yeah, that family court lawyer, she was a total bitch.
I can we can look at the opening statements, and that will kind of give you an idea. It's not terribly long. None of the witnesses, aside from Doug's former divorce lawyer, really
Right.
had long testimonies. But I really liked the detective that was investigating the DV stuff today,
Yeah.
like the one that kind of sat sideways.
Yeah.
Um, that said that she was just like flipping out and whatnot on the phone.
Hmm.
I really liked him. I think he did a good
I
job.
liked the neighbor too. I thought the neighbor was sweet. I mean, he didn't really offer much to the case, but I just thought he was really cute when he was testifying, like
With his little headphones.
with his little headphones. And then when they scared him, when the judge talked and it startled him, oh, so funny. Oh, that was funny.
That's what you want to watch, Ricken? What Star is talking about? Well, when you think of yelling, he wasn't really. He was the judge is very mellow when he speaks,
Yes, he
and
is.
so his reprimands. It's he's like
He got a little snippy. I mean, he put him in his place.
he definitely put him in his place, but
Yeah, yeah.
like to us, like people in this kind of community, when you think of someone going off,
Right, right. For the
it's
judge, it was going off. For this guy, it was the equivalent of going off because, like you said, he's really mellow. And so to
mhm.
see him kind of be like, yo, dude,
No worries, Shyla.
it was kind of interesting. And the other thing I really like about this judge, too, that I appreciate is that I appreciate like how much time he takes to talk to each witness, like as they're taking the stand, like when he gives his whole little microphone spiel or whatever. And he's just like,
Mhm.
it's like he took the time to just make sure they were comfortable and explain it and what we need from you. And I just thought that was really it kind of showed his patience too.
Um, do you notice that his bailiff pulls the chair out for everybody?
Yes. Yes.
I noticed that every
I
time.
did notice that. Yeah. We're very polite in that courtroom.
Mhm. Let me see. The
Except she's over
opening
there scowling. But
statements.
when Eva was testifying though, God, the look on her face. Like you could tell she was trying to like just hide her pure disdain. You could just see it in her. I don't know. Oof.
The opening statements are only like a half an hour, and to be honest, her attorney talks really slow. So
Yeah.
even sped up, it won't even take that long.
Yeah.
If you wanna watch that. It'll give you an idea of
The
like
background.
how they're approaching this
Yeah.
trial
Yeah.
and basically what it is. It'd probably be easier than us trying to explain it and explain the witnesses without knowing the case.
Right. Especially, I'm really, really, really bad about names and like always figuring out. I mean, like I know who's who, but trying to remember their names and like I'm really bad about that. I'm just horrible. So it's like, yeah, okay, that psychiatrist guy. I'm like, I don't even know what his name is.
I was taking notes on a notepad and I set it down somewhere and I don't know where I set it down. It's somewhere in the house. Let me see if I can I'll share my screen. Let me speed it up first real quick. What do you think? 1.25 or 1.5?
1.5.
Okay. If it's too fast, you can let me know.
It's a
Oops.
sunflower reading circle.
Huh?
That sounds cool, Shyla. She said about a sunflower reading circle.
Sunflower reading circle? Where are you
Sounds
seeing that?
sounds cool, whatever it is. Like what? It's just a circle of sunflowers and you go inside and read. So like you're in almost in a field of sunflowers, but really you're just in a ring of sunflowers.
I'm not sure. I was
That
taking a
Rust
break
one
from
was disappointing.
OMW. I feel like you would be interested in this case.
Yeah, you would like this case. Yeah,
Let me
it's
share my
fascinating.
let me share my screen. Oops, actually I got YouTube muted. Hold on. Try this again. Whoop. Ah
That
shit.
sounds really cool. Especially if like you have a nice little patch of grass in there, or make it big enough
Ah.
so you can get your little lounge chair, chill in there. Get a hammock. I don't know. That would be actually really cool. A hammock in the sunflower circle.
Okay, let me share my. Oh, this is long crime. Hold on, let me switch my banner thing real quick.
Okay.
There we go. That'll cover them. So also before I play this, her look, she stopped dyeing her hair. She stopped wearing makeup for the trial only, but all the other hearings, she like had herself all done up.
Mhm.
It's very strategic.
She was very, very, yeah, put together.
Yeah, you can see it on the banner. Like
Yeah.
she,
Like, even her clothes, like, what she was wearing yesterday, I was like, "Why are you just wearing, like, a blue T-shirt?"
yeah, it's
Or
on that's right here. This
yeah,
blue sweater.
yeah. And I'm like, "Why are" like, talk about
So,
just being very muted.
MW on the banner, that is Doug, her husband that she shot. And then you have her, obviously, them together. So,
And she was a former ballerina, so that's why they
yep.
call it the ballerina case, and, like, the Black Swan, which is, a ballet thing. So that's where, like, the
Mhm.
ballet references, and when they got married, they founded, like, a ballet company together
That did nothing.
that did nothing. Yeah.
Okay. If it's, hey, Sheba,
Hey, Shiva.
if it's too loud or you can't hear it, let me know. And if it's too fast, let me know.
Want the father of this child to have any visitation, her
Whoa,
husband.
what's this box?
And
That's
everything
bizarre.
she did from that point on
Oh.
was to attain that goal. And she would stop at nothing to attain that goal. She tried several things in the system.
Oop, shit.
Law enforcement, Department of Children and Families, no one got on her side. And at the end, when there was no other option, she shoots him and kills him and claims self-defense. Now, this couple, Doug Benefield and Ashley Benefield, were married. They had moved to Florida from South Carolina. They lived
Does that
together in
sound
South
okay?
Carolina. Now, when
Yeah.
they lived down here in Florida in Bradenton, they did not live together. Obviously, there were issues. Doug Benefield lived in his own apartment. Ashley Benefield lived with her mother, Alicia Byers, in a home with their daughter once she gave birth. She had this daughter who at the time was a toddler when she shot Doug. While they were living separate, they were still interacting with each other with the goal, the apparent goal, of seeking reconciliation, reconciling this family and becoming a family. They were going to restaurants, they were going to Selby Gardens, they were hanging out at the pool at Doug Benefield's apartment complex. By all images, they looked like they were trying to reconcile. The problem was, that is not what Ashley Benefield wanted. Although that's what she was portraying, that's not what she wanted. At the time that the shooting happened, they were planning to move to Maryland. Ashley's mother had inherited a home in Maryland, and they were going to move to Maryland. Doug was also going to move to Maryland. They were going to continue to live separate and continue to attempt to reconcile, but they were all going to move to Maryland together. Excuse me. At the time that this happened, everybody was in moving mode. There were boxes everywhere, furniture.
MW, she's out on bond right now. She's been out on bond. She has an ankle monitor.
Yeah,
Said
and
she
this
has a
happened
baby.
back in
Yeah.
2020, right? So, like, the
Yep.
kid is now what, 4 or 5?
No, she's 6.
6, okay. Oh, that's right, because she was about 2 at the time
Mm-hmm.
of
Yeah.
the murder, which was in 2020. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
But the kid is like, her mom, Ashley's mom, has custody of the kid, but essentially Ashley lives with them, right?
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I don't understand that. It's like, if you're on bond for killing this kid's father, why are they letting you live with the kid? That seems a little weird.
Well, I mean, to me, it seems weird that a person that is charged with murder can even be on bond, but
Right. Well, for that matter. Yeah.
yeah. But she's out on bond.
Right.
beds upended. They had a U-Haul that they were using together. They had a pod that was in the defendant's driveway that they were putting all of their things into. And every day around this time, Doug Benefield was going to Ashley's home to assist her in putting these things into the pod, putting these things into the U-Haul, because the plan was that they were all going to pack up in the next few days and move to Maryland and continue to try and work on their relationship. The problem was Ashley Benefield knew that this was a ruse. She didn't intend to reconcile. She didn't intend to try to make this work. And the problem was there was a court hearing on September 30th of 2020. And at that court hearing, all of this was going to come out. It was going to come out that she was acting one way when she was by herself, and she was acting another way when she was with Doug Benefield. That she was telling him she wanted to work on things, that she wanted to get this marriage back together. But yet when separate, she was saying she had absolutely no intention of reconciling, did not want him.
What's that, MW? Oh, no worries. No worries. Hey, Barbie. Well, thank you for dropping in, Barbie. And MW, no worries. It's late anyways, and
Exactly.
I didn't anticipate that many people would be on right now anyways. So, yeah, no worries. You'll have to come back and let me know what you think, though.
Yeah, check it out for sure, MW, because, yeah, I'm interested to see what you think.
And if you want us to keep going over this, even though we're a little delayed in the trial, we can always do that. And I know you've paneled before, but you're always welcome up.
Yeah, that would be cool. Hey, Barbie.
Oh no, I would never be mad at you for that. I totally understand.
They are wild. That's the wild, wild west out here.
Yeah, it's nice to have watch someone else's wildness in their life, like this lady's. Every once in a while, it makes me feel a little bit normal, right?
Right?
So, yeah, enjoy your show. And thank you for stopping in, Barbie. It's good to see you.
Him around and did not want this to work. On the 30th of September, this was going to come out. On the 27th of September, she shoots him and kills him.
Oh, shit.
Wait, what
My
was
bad.
going to come out
3
on the
days before
30th?
this hearing and 3 days before this information was seen.
They were supposed to have a hearing in their domestic case.
Oh, okay, on
And
the 30th. Okay,
yeah, the psychological evaluation.
gotcha. Okay.
Become public. Now, there was no one else at the house at the time of the shooting. It was just Doug and Ashley. While Ashley's mother and child lived there, they had gone to the park. As soon as Doug got to the house, Alicia Byers takes her granddaughter and they go to the park. So the only people at the house are the defendant and the victim. And you're going to hear 3 very important things about this shooting. Number 1, Ashley Benefield was the only person that was armed. It was her gun. She had it from before. It's not like she took it away from Doug. It was her gun. And Doug Benefield was not armed. He had no gun, no knife, no club, no weapon of any kind. Number 2, Ashley Benefield was not injured. Law enforcement took pictures of her right after the shooting. And then again, you'll hear in a few days, they took more pictures. Because sometimes law enforcement, they know that bruises sometimes don't show up right away, that it takes several days for these bruises to show up. So they took pictures several days later. And you'll see those pictures, and you'll see that Ashley Benefield is not injured. She
That
has some
sounds
very
amazing,
superficial
Bliss Chris.
scratches on her midsection. Who knows where they came from? She had cats in the house, but who knows? But this is the only injury to her. And the third thing is the trajectory of the fatal bullet. Now, he was shot multiple times, but one of the bullets was fatal. The trajectory of that bullet was side to side. It was not straight on. Doug Benefield was not facing her, coming at her at the time that the fatal shot was fired. Now, as you go through this trial, it's a lot of information, a lot of timeline, but it's all very important to understand the tenor of this relationship between these two people.
I'm talking out loud.
And it goes all the way back to when they met, back in 2016. That was the end of August 2016, they meet. They were both involved in some political event, and they met. 13 days later, they married. Doug Benefield was 54 years old. Ashley Benefield was 24 years old. So there was a 30-year age gap between the two of them. They knew each other 13 days, and they got married. Ashley Benefield was very into the ballet, had been an ex-dancer. Her dream was to start a ballet company. And lo and behold, her husband has the money and the connections to get this done. So he begins, and she begins, to put this ballet company together. And they do put a ballet company together. But before it can actually take off, it falls apart.
Yep.
Before they're married even a whole year, so in April of 2017, Doug Benefield has his vasectomy reversed because they want a child. Within weeks or months of the vasectomy reversal, the defendant is pregnant.
Damn, I don't know why it didn't dawn on me when she first said this on day one about I knew about the reversal, but he was in his 50s.
Yeah.
Like, that's, would he have been in his 50s? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
But I mean,
late
if
for
you
her.
think about it though, she was young, and if
She was young, but
she didn't have any
still.
kids, so I think it would have been an assumption for him that she was going to want kids. So, but I
Yeah, I
also
get
think
that, but
as we get later into the testimony, and I don't know why they're stuck on this word fixation, but they talk about how fixated he was with her.
yeah, no, I was speaking more or less on you don't hear very many people in their 50s having kids.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you would think at that point and having, a teenage daughter, he would have been like, yeah, I'm good.
Hey, William.
Bye, William.
You can call me Snakin' any day. You do know that doesn't bother me, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Shiloh, like you guys have a little bit of an age gap. Like you guys both have older kids.
Thank you, Shiloh. No, you're good. I don't know why these people think that insults me. It doesn't.
Right? That's like when they call me gingivitis, or I guess now
Yeah.
Martha now is the new one. I'm like, you guys are
Like, it doesn't
idiots.
bother me at all.
No. It's like whatever.
I'm not in
Whatever
fucking high
floats your boat.
school.
Right. Whatever floats your boat, people.
I mean, I would rather have someone call me Snakin' than talk shit about my small dick.
Sorry. That was a good one. Oh, that was good.
Hey, Virgie. No, you're fine. We were just watching a trial for the Black Swan.
But then we were rudely interrupted by William.
What's that?
I said, but then we were rudely interrupted by William and his bullshit.
Oh, he'll be back with another account.
Oh, of course he will.
So all within a year of being married, they have done a vasectomy reversal, gotten pregnant, started a ballet, and the ballet has crumbled. While Ashley is pregnant, she decides she's too sick from the pregnancy, morning sickness, and that she needs her mother to take care of her. Her mother's in Florida, in Bradenton, Florida. So during her pregnancy, she moves to Bradenton, Florida to live with her mother so her mother can take care of her during the sickness. The two never lived together again. This was the last time these two lived together. They continued a long-distance relationship when she first moved to Florida and continued trying to keep it together in communication. But about the same time as the ballet collapses, right about all of this time, Ashley Benefield starts complaints against the victim. Her complaints are things like, the main one was that Doug Benefield was poisoning her with heavy metals, and her unborn child was being poisoned, that there was poison in her tea, that he was giving her poison. There were also other complaints, domestic violence complaints, different types of complaints, but not once will you hear that she ever said he hit her. Not once did she ever say he choked her, kicked her, anything like that. Even though she's making these complaints, the victim, Doug Benefield, is still trying to make this work. And you're going to see some text messages and hear some things. He's still trying to make this work. But she is having none of it. So at about the time that she's ready to give birth, Doug Benefield contacts an attorney here in Florida, Sarasota, Florida, Stephanie Murphy, and asks her to help. And asks her to help him write a letter to her, to Ashley Benefield, to state that he wants to be a part of the birth and he wants to be a part of this child's life and to please keep in contact with them. Ashley never answers that letter. That letter is sent via email.
Shyla, she filed a motion to claim that it was self-defense. But that was denied. And then, but what's interesting to me is that just, what was it? Was it the end of last week? I think it was. Yeah, I think it was the end of the last week. There was another case in Florida that a woman shot her husband, I think it was 6 times, and there were a total of 9 spent shell casings found at the scene. And she was on trial for murder, and she claimed self-defense as well. And I don't know if it was connected to battered woman syndrome or which it was, but anyways, she would took it to trial. Typically defendants, it's a terrible idea to um take the stand, and she did, and the jury found her not guilty. So I don't know.
Was she
It'll be
found not
interesting.
guilty of everything? Like she was not found guilty on anything?
Yeah, she was completely found not guilty, and her case is now closed.
Wow.
So, but the court documents, I have the stuff. Her case is very different than and that lady was she's US Customs um officer, and he did have a history of DV, um like had a machete like
Oh
by
my
the
goodness.
nightstand and stuff. Yeah.
That's a bit
But
excessive.
right. And there's definitely differences between the cases, but the fact that they're both in Florida and claiming self-defense on this,
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
right. And I think what
So,
about this case too, Shyla, is that, you know, I would not, at least from what I've seen so far, I would not rule out that there was DV involved in this case. But from what I've seen, I don't think she killed him out of self defense. Like, I don't think he was doing anything at the time that was threatening or menacing her to where she would have felt unsafe. I don't think, but I also, I've only seen 2 days of this trial. There might be stuff I have not yet seen.
mhm.
It just seems like the way she handled it after the fact and kind of the things that were going on in the days before kind of make me think like, I don't think he was doing anything at the time. But that doesn't mean that there wasn't DV involved in the relationship, though. There very well could have been.
Yeah. Well, after this prosecutor does her opening statement, I'll go to the detective from today.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a discussion before Doug was shot.
Right.
And it kind of gives you an idea of where her mindset and what she was doing prior to shooting him.
Right.
So I was like, whoa, what the fuck? This lady is.
Yeah.
I mean,
It almost
people
seems
do.
the opposite in this case, though, Shiloh. Almost like she was the domineering,
Mhm. Yeah.
controlling one instead of him. Like it seems to almost like he gave up. He was willing to give up everything and anything to appease her.
I mean, he was going to move states.
Yeah. He was going to pick up his entire life and go move to Maryland just so that he could be around his daughter. And he hoped that they were going to reconcile. And, so it's hard to say, it's like I'm just forming an opinion just based on what I've seen so far. Doesn't mean, there's definitely things that could happen that may change my mind, but just from what I've seen,
Mhm.
like she seemed to kind of be the one who wore the pants in the relationship.
Yeah. You'll probably find the detective interesting.
Yeah.
Like he was so interesting to me. This part's almost done though.
On March 15th of 2018, which was several weeks early. She wasn't due yet. And the next day, she is induced, her pregnancy is induced,
What the hell just happened?
her to help.
Oh.
And asks her to help him
That was
write a letter
weird.
to her, to Ashley Benefield, to state that he wants to be a part of the birth and he wants to be a part of this child's life and to please keep in contact with him. Ashley never answers that letter. That letter is sent via email on March 15th of 2018, which was several weeks early. She wasn't due yet. And the next day, she is induced, her pregnancy is induced, and she gives birth to a daughter. She never tells Doug. He doesn't even know his child is born for weeks. And
What the hell is happening?
she never responds to the letter. The way that Doug knows that this child is born is that Ashley Benefield starts filing complaints again. And based on these complaints, he figures out, oh, my child's born, and now we have more complaints. The complaints revolved around the poisoning and the things that I talked about earlier. And she filed for what's called a violation of injunction, or I'm sorry, she filed for an injunction. An injunction is our legal way of saying restraining order. So when someone wants a restraining order, they have to go through a process and go to court, and the court has to decide, and you get a restraining order. So that was her process. She was trying to get a restraining order against Doug,
eye
and the
blinking
allegations
is-
were what I said to you.
Non-stop.
At the same time, Doug Benefield had not seen his child, had not met his child. So he did a cross complaint
Have fun,
to say,
Shyla.
please let me have contact with my child. I've never even met my child. So this was set for
Have a good
hearing.
time.
And it ended up going 2 days. It was long. It was a long process, a lot of witnesses in family court. And it ended up going 2 days. It began in July 30th, 2018, and it finished on September 17th, 2018. And at the conclusion of that hearing, the judge said, no. No, you are not getting a restraining order, and no, you cannot keep this man away from his child. And granted Doug Benefield immediate visitation with his daughter. He met his daughter for the first time. She was 6 months old. And at the time when they were exchanging custody, which was at the sheriff's office for meeting the child, all of this animus had been going on. I mean, they had just had these hearings and all of this. And at that first time sharing, that's what they call it nowadays in family courts, time sharing. At the first time sharing, Ashley starts becoming very nice to Doug and says, basically, I'll go with you for the visitation. And that's what they do. The family goes off for visitation. And that begins a year, approximately a year, of basically them working on the relationship, going out to restaurants, doing things, hanging out together as a family. About a year. Now, Doug never moves in with Ashley. He keeps a separate residence. But after almost a year, so around August of 2019, Ashley just stops talking to him. Just stops. And that's about the time Doug files for divorce. He finally says, okay, we're getting a divorce. Then what you'll hear is that the defendant started a whole new set of complaints. You will hear that she was involved in 5 different complaints, all revolving not around her this time, but about the child. Because now Doug has visitation with the child, so now these allegations are that Doug's abusing the child, and the allegations are that Doug's abusing the child. What you'll hear is that not one of these charges was ever prosecuted.
Not very
one of these
often
charges
people
ever,
object
left to law enforcement.
in openings.
So the defendant now has tried these 5 complaints after Doug filed
What
for
is that
divorce.
face?
Law enforcement's not helping her. No one has said that Doug cannot see this child, so there's still visitation going on. And in this meeting
What?
of all these people, it was decided
That was
that
weird.
Doug and Ashley Benefield will go for a psychological evaluation. So they do. And they go to Dr. Broder, and Dr. Broder does a very extensive psychological evaluation. And he meets with them together. He meets with them separately. He meets with them with the child, whose name is Emerson, by the way. She's a little girl. And at the time of the shooting, she was about not yet 2 years old. During this evaluation, and what you'll hear from Dr. Broder is that Ashley Benefield acted very different when she was with Doug and when she was not with Doug. When she was with Doug, it was, we're moving to Maryland, we're going to work on our relationship, we're going to try and make this family work. When she's not with Doug, she's saying, no way, no how,
They're
I do
like
not want this. I don't want to
constantly
reconcile with him.
feverishly taking notes.
And to Doug's knowledge, all he's hearing is, I want to reconcile. So that's what he knows. That report was coming out at that hearing on September 30th, 2020. So September 30th, 2020, Ashley knew the ruse was up. Now, there had to be a request from both sides, the husband and the wife, to release this psychological report. And at one point before the hearing, Ashley Benefield tried to get Doug to drop that so the report would not get out, would not be released. Doug refused. So that report was coming out on the 30th, and on the 27th, she kills him and claims self-defense. Now, you're probably going to hear a lot of information about Doug Benefield. Probably some negative things, not so nice things. I would just ask you to remember who's saying them and why. Just because someone speaks words does not make it true. So use your common sense as you go through this trial. This is a long story with a lot of information, but you'll see that this was a custody battle that this mother was going to win at all costs. And the cost was the life of Doug Benefield. And that is murder. Thank you.
Okay. I stopped sharing that. And then I'll find the detective. Okay, give me just 1 second.
So how old was his daughter?
What's that?
His daughter would have been what, like 17 or 18 when this happened? Like, was she not living with him when this happened? Like, maybe she was an
this
adult.
well, she's 23 now.
It was 4 years ago, so she would have been, yeah, like,
So I don't know if she was in college already or, you know,
she might have still been like in South Carolina or something.
well, at the time that this happened, her mom had just passed.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know, you know.
Well, I don't think her mom had just passed because the Emerson was almost 2. She said, Eva said she was 15 when they got married. So this had to have been like 2 years later. I think they got married in like 2018 or something.
Well, yeah, it's 2 years later, I guess.
Yeah, so
I
she
mean,
would have been like
it's up for
around
interpretation.
adulthood.
What? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just wonder if she was living with him. Like, did she go to Florida with him? Or, I mean, not that it has any impact on the case. I'm just.
Yeah, I have no idea where she lived. Let me go to. I gotta find him real quick. I already found him. Hold on 1 sec. Let me. Oh, she's muted. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I got it. Trying to see if I have anything else open that might make the buffering. Okay, let's see. Hopefully this doesn't. I don't know why it's buffering. It's really weird. Share. Okay, this is the detective that was working on some charges related to an injunction that Ashley had filed. And this is obviously before he was shot. And I'm playing this. This actually happened today. So this is technically on day 2, but I'm playing this. It's a little ass backwards, but it will, in my opinion, kind of give you an idea onto the mindset of like where she was at, it seems. At least that's how I took it. Hey, Forever Young.
Yeah.
It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping in.
I didn't finish this guy's testimony.
Oh, I like this guy. Well, thanks for popping in. I appreciate that.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please state your name.
Chris Gillum, Gillum.
Where do you work?
Manatee County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you worked there?
22 years.
And did you work somewhere else before for several years? How many years?
Yes, City of Palmetto Police Department for 12 years.
Okay. And what position do you currently hold at Manatee?
I am currently a domestic violence investigator.
And how long have you been in that unit?
12 years.
How, I said in that unit, but if you could just describe, does Manatee County Sheriff's Office have a unit for domestic violence?
Yes, we do. We have 4 detectives.
Okay. And where and how is that unit housed?
We are housed at our building is the 3500 block of 9th Street West is the actual address. And within our building, it's my unit and the crimes against children.
2017 to 2020?
Yes,
Same area or?
I don't really care about the building.
Every so often, that was mostly the crimes against children.
It can be charged criminally.
Yeah, what
correct?
does the building have to do
Sometimes
with,
when
what's the
someone
I
is
don't know.
asking for an injunction, or when an injunction is violated, it can be charged criminally, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Or they can take other avenues
That's
to address
correct.
the violation. But you're not involved in that other avenue if it's a different court, correct?
Yes, I'm not involved in that.
All right. Did you become familiar at some point with someone named Ashley Benefield?
I did.
And when was that?
December of 2017.
Okay. Generally, what were the circumstances without it getting into a lot of detail?
She reported that her husband violated an injunction that was in place out of South Carolina.
Okay. And that came to you?
Correct.
Right. And we've heard several mentionings of poisoning. Did this have to do with the same issue?
It was the same case, yes, but I had nothing to do with that investigation.
Okay. So the poisoning itself, you didn't have any contact with. It was just the violation of injunction.
Correct.
Okay. Did you speak to Ashley?
I did.
How many times would you say you spoke to Ashley?
I think a fair number would be 30 to 40.
Okay. And generally speaking, was that because you were contacting her or she was contacting you?
No, she started contacting me on a regular basis beginning around February of 2018.
Okay.
Regular
And what was she
basis.
contacting you about?
She was wanting to know the status of the case and when Doug would be getting arrested for the violation of the injunction.
Okay. And when you do a violation of injunction, when you're investigating a violation of injunction, you can do several things, correct? You can, well, explain what you can do with it.
We can make a physical arrest in the case. There could be no charges filed in a case, or we can send the case to the state attorney's office.
Okay. So if you send the case to the state attorney's office, what does that mean?
We're just letting them make the ultimate decision if they think there's enough for charges to be filed in this case.
Okay. So it sounds like there's no charges and then arrest and
Sustained.
so you said Ms. Benefield was calling you asking about the arrest of Mr. Benefield.
Yes.
Okay. And what did you tell her?
That the case was still suspended at that point, and when I had an answer for her, I would let her know.
Okay. And so that was the beginning of your conversations,
Yes.
right? So, did she continue to call
Yes, repeatedly. Twice a week at least.
and speak to you personally?
Yes.
And what was her comments? What were her concerns?
It was the same thing. When was Doug going to be arrested for violating the injunction?
Had you ever told her that he was?
I'm sorry, but, like it reminds me of other people I can think of. This same exact situation.
Right?
Like, it's making me
uncanny.
giggle it.
It's uncanny.
Right.
I know.
And now that I see this detective, it's like I could just picture
Right.
the face. Oh, and the fact that he was like says that it's such a memorable person, like just stuff,
Yep.
anyways, it's funny.
It's pretty funny. Yeah.
Was going to be arrested?
I did not.
Okay. At some point, did you decide to forward the charges?
I did.
And is that to the state attorney's office like we talked about?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Did you inform her of that?
I sure did.
Okay. And what was her reaction to that?
She was upset that he was not being arrested.
Okay. Were you able to explain to her that the process and how this was going to go?
Sustained.
Were you able to explain the process to her?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And how did she take that?
She was not happy that I was not placing Doug under arrest.
Okay. At some point, did you speak to Ashley Benefield again? And she told you about a court hearing?
Yes.
Okay. Approximately when was that conversation?
Around the first week of May 2018.
May 2018. And what did she say?
She just got right into the phone call and requested that I arrest Doug for a hearing that was coming up in Manatee County.
Okay, you just said arrest for a hearing.
Yes.
But arrest at a hearing?
Yeah, said that there was a hearing, upcoming hearing in Manatee County.
Okay. And was that hearing involving your case or something else?
It was something else. It was not my case.
Okay. Did you know that there was a hearing or there was even a court issue going on?
I did not.
So she told you there was a court hearing, and did she tell you when it was?
No, that just shows there was an upcoming hearing, and she asked for me to arrest Doug when he came inside the courtroom in front of the presiding judge.
Okay. And what was your reaction to that?
That absolutely would not occur.
Okay. And how did she take that?
She was upset. And at that point, I would call it a dramatic cry, hysterical cry, started happening. And I'm still informing her, we're not going to do that. We're just not going to arrest him in the courtroom. And she made a comment, something to the effect of, if the judge sees you arrest him, this will help me keep my baby. So I thought that was a pretty bold statement. And I'm like, I'm still trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. She just gave birth. Maybe she's confused. And I'm trying to explain to her gently, that's just not going to happen, especially not going to happen for a judge to see to help you in a civil matter.
And did you, in fact, explain all that to her?
Yes, I did.
And how did she react?
We went back and forth 5 minutes or so. Her just
What is this
kept
buffering
requesting
for?
to arrest him. I said, this is not going to happen. And her tone turned from the crying to very aggressive, and she says, you will effing arrest him in front of the judge, and I will make sure you do it.
It's like she turned on her psycho.
What did you say to that?
I started pushing back a little bit, and I said, it's not going to happen. Whatever you say or do, you cannot make me arrest somebody in front of a judge, and it's just not going to happen.
And what did she do?
I guess she started crying again, and came out with a comment, something to the effect of, I can't believe you're willing to allow Doug to kill me and the baby.
Okay.
And that hadn't come up in this phone call. The phone call dealt with me arresting Doug in front of a judge. And then it turned to not arresting him and allowing me to let him kill her and the baby.
Okay. So that seemed kind of different to you?
Yes.
Than what you had previously been doing?
Yes.
Okay. How long did this conversation go on?
Geneva, how far into his testimony did you get? Did you get to cross at all?
No, I did not get to cross.
Did you get this far?
This was right around the time when I dipped out, when I had to leave. So it was like,
Oh,
I
okay.
think there was a little bit, like I heard this part about how she was like demanding he be arrested in front of the judge. and then
Hmm.
not much after that.
Okay.
20 to 30 minutes
Okay.
for up to that time. It's probably 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay. And during this time, excuse me, did the defendant ever seem to understand the process of what you were saying?
No.
And at some point, did she change from crying again?
She did.
What did she do?
It just abruptly changed, and she let out like a screech or a high-pitched scream. And she says, "I'll do whatever I have to do to kill my baby or keep my baby, you a-hole."
Okay. So it's a high-pitched scream, or did you say scream or screech?
Like a screech at first, but it was I'll call it a screech.
A screech.
Yeah.
And tell me, what volume is
powers.
this?
Volume?
I could just say it's a very loud, maybe top of lung type scream.
Okay. Could you demonstrate to us?
It's impossible. There's no way I could.
I
Why
thought
would
the
it be
same thing
impossible?
forever
I
young.
couldn't get
He
my voice
totally
that
looks
high.
like Ozzy.
There's no way.
Well, he also said that the DV counselor told his little group therapy thing that the real DV doesn't get reported. Oh, there's a comment above that. Oops, my bad. I thought you were talking about this guy. I was like, huh? I must have missed that. I'm so sorry that you went through that. I'm glad you got away from that, though.
Yeah, he sounds like an asshole.
Yeah. Flat on his face. Yeah, I've experienced that myself. This detective, he doesn't look like he's scared of anything.
No, he really doesn't.
Like he's not fearful of a damn thing.
No.
He just kind of has that vibe to him, you know?
So it was loud and it was high.
Yes.
And she said, can you repeat what she said?
I will do anything I have to do to keep my baby, you a-hole.
You a-hole. And did she say a-hole?
No, she said the full word.
Okay. And after she said that, what'd she do?
At that point, I had checked out of the phone call, and I was pretty much ready to hang up the phone on her. And she accused me of conspiring with Doug to get her baby taken away.
And had you even spoken to Doug about custody of the child?
No.
Okay. Were there other detectives around you at the time of this phone call?
Yes, there were two other detectives.
And do you recall their names?
Oh, yes, Detective Patricia Hetrick and Detective Brian Moreland.
And did they appear to recognize that you were on a difficult call?
Oh, they did, and at one point, Brian even asked me if I needed some help.
Sustained.
And at some point, how did the phone call end?
Miss Benefield terminated the phone call.
And you seem to have a good memory of this call.
Yes,
And why do you have a good memory of this call?
because in my 12 years of doing this, I've never had anybody ask me to arrest someone in front
Hey,
of a
Autistic
judge
Shield.
instead of a courtroom. Now, I have had people call me before.
Thank you so much for being
and
here
say
for 4
somebody
months.
may be appearing in court that I'm looking for so I can arrest them, but I've never had somebody say, wait until he's inside the courtroom in front of the judge.
Wrong way.
Thank you. No further questions.
Cross.
Just a moment, Your Honor. Afternoon, Detective Gillum.
Good afternoon, sir.
I want to
Yes.
ask you a few questions
Oh,
about
what'd I
report
do?
writing.
Sure.
Oh,
Do
whoops.
they teach that to you in
How'd I do
Police
that?
Academy?
Sure. Back in 1989, they did, yes.
Okay,
Huh.
it's obviously an
Oh,
important
I hit
part of
enter and it
police
put
work.
comments on the screen.
Oh,
How
Or I
many
hit the space
cases
bar.
would you say could you average that you handle in a month?
20?
Okay. And over the course of a year, we're talking about,
300, close.
so are you familiar with the saying that they give you in Police Academy, if it's not in the report, it didn't happen?
I've heard that before, yes.
All right. And that's because the report is obviously more reliable than your memory.
I could understand that, yes.
All right.
For receipts,
At 20
maybe?
cases a month, 2.5 years later, you're into like 600 cases. If you got your report, you can refresh your recollection rather than have to recall off the top of your head.
Sure.
Which is why you want to put critical details in your report, because that's what you want to remember.
Correct.
Not necessarily that somebody had on mismatching socks, but that they had something that's significant to the investigation.
Sure.
All right. So your initial involvement, you told us in the case, is
Well, before I go into further into this with the cross, um, is there anything you wanted to say or anything?
no, I'm just listening. It's interesting that she was pushing for that so hard for him to get
Yeah.
arrested in front of the court and that she was yelling at him on the phone. I don't know. And like, why would she say that he needs to be arrested so she could keep her baby? Like, he wasn't trying to take the kid away from her. He was just trying to
Yeah.
be a part of her life, be a parent. He wasn't trying to doesn't sound like he was trying to take the kid away from her. So it's weird that she would say, you need to arrest him so I can keep my baby.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird comment to make.
Yeah, we can keep watching this. We could talk about something. It's up to you guys. Like, I really had no plan on what to talk about tonight.
Yeah, I'm the one who came in here to talk about it because I was like watching the mom as I was watching her testimony, and I totally
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
paying
I mean, we
attention.
can talk about whatever.
Yeah,
You can take a break on this if you want.
I mean, I'm fine either way. I'm gonna end up watching it anyway, so
Yeah, you guys let me know. Yeah, let me stop. I don't know why it's even buffering, to be honest. I wonder if I have the resolution up too high.
that'll make it buffer if you have the resolution up too high.
Well, I mean, it can cause problems. It depends on what your CPU is doing,
Yeah, that's true.
but or not. I went to bed so early last night. I've been up since 6,
Yeah,
and then I went to bed super early just because I had a headache. I think I was just I don't know. I was stressed out yesterday.
well, it was kind of a rough day yesterday.
Yeah,
That's for sure. It's still kind of, I don't know,
yeah.
shocking,
So many cases hard. Yeah, it is hard to keep track.
Yeah, it really is hard to keep track.
Yeah, I don't know. Whenever I cry, I get like a really bad headache. Like it's just like my whole sinuses feel all clogged
Yeah.
up and whatnot. And it's just like eyes hurt, and I was just
Yeah.
the
And then
real
just the stress and the tension of it on top of it. It's just,
yeah,
you've got like the physical stress that of the actual, crying, and then you've just got the stress and the
yeah.
weight of the whole thing. And it's like I didn't even really know him that well, and it's shocking and surprising to me. Like, I've had very few interactions with him. So, but it's still, just like, whoa, he was literally just on panels and in chats. And,
Yeah.
it was kind of like the same thing with Mims too, just that.
I
What
figured
the
it
hell?
was for you too, Sheba.
Yeah, it was hard for a lot of people. It still is. I mean, especially if it sounds like maybe some people had known for a little bit, but I think for the most part, people found out yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think
I
there's
don't know
just
what she
still a
said.
lot of questions and unknowns. And I mean, I don't know if it'll ever really be known what happened, or if it even really matters. It's just sad, you know.
I
'Cause
mean,
there's not,
it, it
you can say a lot of things about him, but he was definitely very charismatic and
the thing is it doesn't matter how he passed.
right.
I mean, he's a human, whether he's on
Absolutely.
YouTube or not. Like
Yeah.
it's for
Yeah.
it just I
And
don't
I think,
know.
I think what's not that that how he passed matters, but it's like he was really, I think, from the last few times that I saw him on panels and stuff, like really on even a physical journey. He was talking about losing weight and, trying to do better for
Mhm.
himself, eat a little better, drink healthier stuff. And,
Yeah, he
so
lost I think it was 30 some
that's what he
pounds, I
said,
think.
30 something
Yeah.
pounds. Yeah. And so just, when you see somebody really putting in an effort and wanting to do better, and then only, in the end for it to not necessarily, and then it's like you just see the other people on these YouTube streets who don't give a crap about bettering themselves, their bodies, anything. And
Mhm.
they're perfectly
I
fine.
was I was, on a recent stream, he had mentioned that he was having trouble getting his CPAP supplies. And so he was without his CPAP stuff. And it bothered me for a
Yeah.
long time since he said that. And I don't know if it had anything to do with it. It's not my business. He said he
Right.
was gonna have to pay out of pocket, and I know that he would not be able to afford it. Someone was gonna help him with that.
Right.
But it's just something that's weighed on me. I mean, that that can be fatal.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then you've got certain people over there who get that stuff handed to them and still refuses to use it,
Yeah. Yep.
and didn't like what was handed to her and grifted for something better than what was handed to her for free, and then still didn't use it. It's like how ungrateful can you
Was
be?
that you that helped him, Sheba? Talking to the insurance company? Okay.
To get those supplies figured out. See, nobody should have to,
I know.
go without those things, because those things are, you
Yeah.
know, they sustain your life and your well-being. And like the fact that anybody has to fight for supplies like that is just mind-boggling to me. People shouldn't have to do that. And he did. He seemed like he was really making better choices, Sheila. You know, like he really wanted to do better, be better, you know, and it was nice to see him sort of turning over a new leaf and, you know,
The insurance company was the problem. I hated that he was having so much trouble with disability. It should not have been that difficult for him.
mm-mm, mm-mm. That's
It's
terrible. Like
you
really
see
just
so many people that can get it so easily,
mm-hmm.
and he struggled.
Yeah, it's sad. It's just a really, really, really sad, terrible situation. And I feel for his, you know, family and his kitties.
Julie Virgo, if you're in the bushes or you catch us on replay the next time you stream, can you please hit the 30-second break like every 5 minutes, just once, you know, just to give us a sense of real still here.
He
We're going to
was
take a
hearing his
30-second
hearing.
break.
Okay.
Leave a 1 if you're enjoying the live. Tell me if you want me to shut the F up forever.
Right.
That's funny.
We need the countdown.
Yep. Oh, that's so
What was
funny.
his hearing for? Was it for to get like the insurance company to pay for stuff?
For the disability.
Oh my gosh. Wow. God, just shouldn't be that difficult.
Yeah, I think he was looking forward to that because he'd been waiting for it.
Yeah. Yeah, people wait 2-3 years for those sometimes. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like,
Well, he was already turned down once.
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like usually from the time you're turned down just to even get the appeal. And I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
from the time you apply to when you go to appeal and all that, I mean, it's 2-3 years and it's ridiculous. Well, that was very sweet of you though for helping him out. And I'm sure he was really appreciative of that.
Yeah, he was a polarizing figure, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
A couple people from school had to go 3 times to get disability. Is it really that hard to get on?
Yeah, yeah. My brother-in-law, you know, he's got stage 4 lung cancer and he's been trying to get on it, I think, for the last
Really? He can't even get it?
he's been trying to get on it for the last 9 or 10
Wow.
months and he doesn't have hit like they told him it could be another 8 or 9 months. And it's like he probably doesn't have another 8 or 9 months. Like, really? And they're like, well, we'll back pay you from, you know, 5, you know, because I guess the first 5 months are like a waiting period. And they're like, we'll back pay you. And it's like, well, what good does that do at that point? You know, it's no, they don't,
That's crazy. It
yeah, they don't.
should not be that difficult.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. It is crucial.
Especially with cancer. Like, what
Yeah,
the
yeah. I mean, and he's stage 4. It's not like,
Yeah.
you know,
Who was it? Didn't someone just passed with Oh, oh God, no, I can't think. I
Shannon
don't know if
Doherty?
no, I feel like it was someone else, but now I don't know if it was.
Like a famous person or no?
Yeah, that's what I don't remember. If it was just
Oh,
like a true crime case I was reading, or
right.
if it was a celebrity. So I don't want us to like. I don't remember where it
Somebody.
even came
Yeah.
from. Yeah.
See, he was very lucky to have you, Sheba.
Mm-hmm. I
Everybody
even
needs.
remembered real.
Yeah. Like that's, I found,
I
I
can't.
think one of the first lives that I ever saw of C was when Muzz and Real were up there and Star was up there. That was like one of the first lives that I really remember of seeing C anyway. Like prior to that, I mean, I may have been bushwatching here and there, but that's the one that sticks out in my mind.
You know, to this day, well, now that real is passed, I mean, he, he's not even. I've never told him, but when people were trying to serve him with TPOs,
Hmm.
few years back, I know that um, Momo wanted to serve him,
Hmm.
um, and then Sunshinery
She actually filed
was.
Momo.
Yeah, but nobody could. Um, like people were trying to like find his address and all this stuff, and
I remember that.
he didn't know how
Muzz was
to.
one of them.
Um, but here's the thing: nobody could find him, and there was someone that he was close to contacted me and
Hmm.
asked me, "Hey, how can you help me figure out if this is actually filed? Um, about and what about service? Like
Hmm.
they're saying he's served. Um, he's not saying he's served. Can you like confirm this for me?" And I actually did the um, contacting to the courthouses for him. He just didn't know it was me that did it. He passed away not knowing it was me. I just
Right.
never told him.
Wow.
But yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people did. And I was actually very thankful and pleasantly surprised to see that nobody went and did any lives that I could tell to like kind of capitalize off the situation. Like it seemed like I think everybody was pretty respectful on that front. You know, there were definitely posts, and I don't think any of them were anything other than sincere.
Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly, Gray. I'm glad too, Shiva. I was very pleasantly surprised by that. I was kind of expecting
hey, sassy nerd girl.
somebody to pop off, and just, I'm so glad nobody did. I'm glad there was that respect.
Same. And I hope that people, if they have anything negative on their channels about him, like they take him down.
Just take it down. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, his daughter's gonna be, and I don't know how old she is, but there's gonna be a point where she might
Yeah,
get
she's gonna see
curious.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought the same thing about Mims too. It's like, just take it all down. It no longer
Yeah.
matters. It's not relevant. Her family doesn't need to see it, just like his family doesn't need to see it. It's
hmm
completely irrelevant at this point. There's no point in having any of that out there.
Right.
Ah, cheesesteaks from Jersey Mike's. Those are so good. No, it won't be the same. I mean, he definitely,
Mhm.
he marched to the beat of his own drum,
That's for sure.
he, was unlike any other.
I hope his kitties are okay.
Yeah. I hope so too.
I asked a mod of another channel about one thing. I haven't checked to see if they changed that. Huh?
Oh, about something that maybe wasn't kind to have up, to leave up.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's completely appropriate to ask, a mod or a creator to,
Georgie's
just,
parody for donos.
oh, yeah, she should take that down. Especially considering she's not even funny anyway.
You know what? When it really comes down to it, um, I think that there's a part of Bald Cat that's hurting from the loss of Real too.
Yeah. Yeah. I just feel like she doesn't sadly think for herself anymore. I think she's all about being in this clique and these mean girl crew. And so I don't know if she necessarily is going to stop to think like, maybe I should take this down out of respect because, she knows the people that she's rolling with don't care.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ugh, my cold medicine's wearing off and now I'm sniffly again. Stupid colds.
He seemed happy and beat all the time.
He was really, that's the one thing I will say is he, for the most part, always seemed pretty to kind of have a positive attitude about things. I mean, there were a few times when I saw him, angry. But for the most part, he did seem always kind of upbeat.
Hmm.
And I hope people do just continue to
It's
at least
sad
have the
that, I
respect.
mean, I hate that. It's just constantly losing people,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I wish it would be a reminder to people, especially in this community, that, at the end of the day, this shit doesn't matter. The harassing, the stalking, the threatening, the games, what's it for? At the end of the day, why? Is it worth losing anything over? Is it worth losing a job, a family, a home, a life? Like, it's not worth any of that. And these people act like it's end all be all. Like this is their life. And,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
if all you can say at the, if heaven forbid somebody were to pass tomorrow, is like that what you want people, you know, to remember you for? Is that what you want your family to see and find out about or whatever? No, I'm sure the answer to that is no.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, I really thought that you know, with what happened to Mims, that would have been a good reminder, but it wasn't. People really didn't seem to take the lesson from that. And I hope maybe with this, people will be, you know, a little more willing to think twice about what they're doing. I agree, Gray.
Just saying, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I
Calling on
agree. He
others.
does need to he does need to be left alone, and he just needs to be let the man rest. I agree.
What is- Come on. Hold on. Babe, are you good? Okay. Sorry. Oh,
No, that's okay.
are you still here? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
It's like he was trying to like teach the dog tricks or something in the hallway. I didn't understand what was going on out there.
He's making her work for something.
Yeah, he was. Couldn't quite figure out what was going on.
But yeah. So is the trials continuing tomorrow? I wonder how. So didn't you say the trial was expected to last like a week or two?
Yeah, they said, oh, yeah, 1 to 2 weeks, but
I wonder how many
I,
more witnesses prosecution has.
actually, let me look. I thought, ooh, did I pull the witness? I don't, I might have the witness
Hey,
list. Let me
Esmeralda.
look.
Because this is what. So Monday was the jury selection, right? And then, so it's today was the end of day 2.
Let me look here. See if I can find out how many. Oh, what's this? Who's in here? Since I moved my desk in the middle, I can't see shit that's coming in here.
It's still there, huh?
Yeah, it's still here. And I can hear noises, but I can't see over anything.
Oh, that's
Like
funny.
I can hear like a dog, I can hear footsteps, but I
Yeah,
can't see anything.
can't tell who, what, when, where, why.
Nope, not a thing. And so I'm like having to like peek under like the monitor and like around it. It's so bad. It's so bad. I don't know. I don't know why I did that. I need to do something about that.
That's so funny.
Uh, I still can't even see who's in here. I can hear it though.
You can
I don't
hear
know
it.
which dog it is.
You can hear feet. You can hear breathing.
Yeah, there's a dog in here eating a treat, but I can't tell which dog it is.
That's funny.
I just heard pat, 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 like dog feet coming in.
That's funny.
Come on, what is this thing? Why is my computer running so slow? Like, what in the hell?
Do you have a lot of tabs open? That always gets
No,
fun
I
every
don't.
time.
That's the thing.
Maybe you just need to reboot it.
Yeah, but then I feel like in the stream though, like I did a control F on this docket to find out where the witness list is on it. And I'm trying to hit next and it's like not even going to the next one.
I don't, just saying, I don't know how I can't give an opinion on that, really. I mean, I didn't know him very well. I don't know a lot of the backstories with a lot of people. I don't know who's making a deal out of it or not. I mean,
Well, I tried. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on. Just got in. Hey, Esmeralda. I think I said hi to you, but if not, hello. I don't know. I still can't. It's like I'm stuck on this. Like, I can't even exit out of the document now.
uh-oh. Now it's just all froze. It's like, nope,
Yeah, it's
now you're
froze.
stuck here.
I know. I was already thinking, like, what? How would I even end this? Well, that's on a different monitor. Like the live stream is up on not on my computer. Never mind. I can't. It's too complicated if you can't see it.
Yeah. I will definitely not, unless I see it, I will have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I have multiple monitors, and
Just
I'm just
very
trying to
visual,
point to
though.
which one it is. So
Yeah, that's
I just got a 34-inch monitor in today.
nice.
It's a curved one. I don't know how I'm gonna set that up. It's supposed to be a Christmas present, but it was on Prime Day, so we snagged it
There
up.
you go.
Yeah, I have a curved one already, and I like it. And so then I'd been talking about getting a bigger one. And then when Prime Day,
They had a good
I
deal.
suggested to see if there was anything on there that I wanted for Christmas, since they'd have better deals.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, I want a bigger monitor. But I told him, I was like, you need to probably turn it on and make sure that it works, because Christmas isn't for a while. And by
Right?
that point, the return period's going to be
Can't
gone.
return it. Yeah.
But if
Oh,
you
it's
need
gonna
me
be
to
here
test
before
it,
we know it.
I don't
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure it's
So
all on the up and up. Although Christmas, where the hell was I the other day? And they had their Christmas stuff out already.
Christmas?
There was they were starting to put their Christmas shit out. I'm like,
Jeez.
it's not even Halloween yet. Like,
Yeah.
not even Labor
Not
Day.
surprising.
And I can't remember where I was. I was like super disgruntled.
Yeah, that's surprising.
I can remember now.
Oh, I don't know.
Like I'm
I
one of
should
these
probably
people
play it
that
safe and end this stream because my computer, I'm afraid it's going to force close and I'm not going to be able to stop
Yeah.
the stream.
yeah, probably a good idea if it's acting funky.
I'm trying to get out of it because I've never accidentally closed out of this before.
Oh, you mean to end the live?
Well, out of the Streamlabs studio, not
Yeah.
the actual Streamlabs desktop. So I don't
Oh,
know
okay.
what happens if I close it. Like if it force closes the whole thing.
Yeah,
Because
I couldn't tell you. Yeah, I don't know.
that one day it just shut my whole computer down.
Oh Lord, it took
So
everything with it. Did it end the live stream though when you did that?
I was on panel when it did it.
Yeah, and so did it, but it didn't
It
end the
wasn't on
live
my
stream.
channel though.
Oh, it was on somebody else. Gotcha.
Yeah. I have to say though.
No, I like the Halloween stuff too. Like
Yeah, I don't
that's my
complain about
favorite.
Halloween stuff.
But it's like let's at least get to Halloween before you start putting the Christmas stuff out. But I love Halloween stuff. That's my favorite.
So, okay, guys, I'm gonna end this. I probably need to
Alrighty, have a
turn
good
off
night,
my
everybody.
computer. So, yeah, we'll catch you guys here soon. Either tomorrow or Friday, one of these days. Thank you guys for being here. And if you guys want to hear more about the Ashley Benefield case, just let us know. And thank you again.
Good night.
Have a good night. Bye.